Good morning all. Today we'll be seeing about subnetting part of network layer. We have already seen what is IP address and what is significance of IP address and how the naming convention of IP address is being done. So this is the summary of IP address as submitted by you in your class assignment. So there are 4 classes of IP address. Class E is not being used. Class A, B, and C are used, and class D is called as multicast address. Every address can be identified either by means of if it is in binary notation, by means of first 2 digits. You can see if the first bit is 0, then it means it is class A. Yes. For other classes, you need to see first 2 bits. If it is 1 0, it is class B. If it is 1 1, then it is class C. Yes? So to identify it is class D, you should see the first 3 bits, yes, which is 1 1 1. An IP address can either be represented in binary notation or it can be represented in decimal notation. If given an IP address, you can also identify its class by means of its first octet in decimal representation. Suppose I say 112, then it is within the range of 1 to 126, therefore it belongs to class A. If I say an IP address begins with say 147.12.113.40, then looking by its first octet decimal value, you can say it is a class B address. If it is 200, you can say it as class C address. So you can identify to which class an IP address belongs depending upon its binary representation or decimal representation. In case of class A, number of octets that represent net ID is 1. Number of octet that represents host ID is 3. Okay? So the total number of possible networks is 2 power 8 minus 1. Again, you have committed this, I have taken from the assignment. You have committed the mistake what I have said, which you shouldn't do. Yes, it is 2 power 8 minus 2. Yes, 2 power, it's not 2 power 7. Yes, so it is 2 power 8 minus 2. Yes, so here you have done it correctly. 2 power 14 minus 2, 2 power 16 minus 2, and 2 power 8 minus 2. Yes, in class A, total number of possible networks is 2 power 8 minus 2, because all zeros and ones cannot be used. Total number of possible hosts is 2 power 24 minus 2. So we'll see about subnetting, and I'll say what is supernetting, classless addressing, and leave it for you to read in the asynchronous mode. Yes. Subnetting, every class address, I told you if it is 1 octet, which one is the largest network? Class A is the largest network because you have got 2 power 24 different hosts. But the number of class A address that can be assigned is very less, because the total possibility of class A address itself is 2 power 8 minus 2. Yes. So if you take class B address, then it is 2 power 16 minus 2. Yes. So what if you are going to get a class C address? Yes. So in a class C address, the maximum number of hosts you can have in a network is 2 power 8 minus 2. Yes. What if you are going to have 2 more hosts? Should you acquire one more class C address, which is very expensive and is also not needed for you to do. Yes. So in case of subnetting, you have a procedure in which you can increase the number of hosts without acquiring extra network or extra IP address. Yes. So how a subnet is defined? By applying a bit mask to the IP address. If a bit is 1 in the mask, the equivalent bit in the address is interrelated as a network bit. Yes. So from this table, you can see number of net ID is 1. Yes. So the default subnet mask for class A address is 255.0.0.0. Yes. I'll repeat. For class A network, the default subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. You can add one more column here and add the default subnet mask, meaning which all ones means if you mask all ones with the net ID portion, you will get the same net ID what is represented in the IP address. Yes. So that means that if it is subnet mask is 255.0.0.0, when you mask that default subnet mask with the actual IP address, the result will be the net ID portion. Masking, it is retrieving the net ID portion using the default subnet mask. That is, you perform AND operation of a given IP address and default subnet mask so that you get the net ID portion. For class A, the default subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. For class B, 2 octets represent net ID. Therefore, default subnet mask is 255.255.0.0. For class C, the default subnet mask is 255.255.255.0 since 3 octets represents the net ID portion. Yes. Here you can see this is one of the IP address. Yes. So as I said, in case of class A, if you mask with all ones, you will get the net ID portion. For those portions which are 0, you will not get the net ID portion. Yes. So it is the old style of addressing is called as classful addressing. Later we'll see what do you mean by classless addressing. Yes. So if you see here in class A network, 1 octet is net ID and 3 octet is host ID. Yes. So here the total number of hosts is 2 power 24, which is approximately these many host addresses are available. Yes. So the range of class A addresses 1 to 127. Similarly, for class B, these many hosts can be present and the range is between 128 to 191. And in class C network, you can see the range is and the total number of hosts is. Why do we go for subnetting is in the old style class of address? If you want to increase this address space, suppose you want to add few more hosts to your network, you need to procure one more class C addresses. So total number of hosts class C can accommodate is 256. Okay. If you want to have say 260 hosts, you should procure one more class C address, which is waste of cost. Eh? So that's the reason why we go for subnetting. Yes. So here you can see this is a class B address. Yes. So the range of this network, it goes from 141.14.0.1 to 141.14.255.254. Yes. In case I want to increase the network, yes, otherwise say our college has acquired an class B address. Yes. Suppose we want to have few more subnets. This is an IT lab present in D block. This is CSC lab which is present in AD block. This is civil lab which is present in C block. This is a mechanical CAD lab which is present in some A block. Yes. So each one has got a subnet. So we need to have 4 different networks. Yes. So how to divide a single IP address and give 4 different addresses to each of the subnet. Yes. So here what we do is we sacrifice few of the bits from host ID because you are a user, you cannot get few bits from the net ID portion. Only thing, if it is a class B network, you can have 2 power 16 different hosts. Yes. So in what way you can compromise? You can compromise few of the bits which has been allocated to host ID to represent a subnet ID. Yes. So subnet is different from network ID. Network ID is 14 bits. Yes. Net ID is 16 bits for class B network. The remaining 16 bits, depending upon the total number of subnets you require, you can assign the host ID bits to subnet ID. Yes. Suppose you are willing to have 3 different subnets. Yes. So to represent 3 different subnets, how many bit is required? If you have 1 bit, you can represent one subnet as 0 and another subnet as 1. Yes. So you know all zeros and all ones cannot be used. So minimum is 2. Again, if you take 2 bits, how many subnets can be allocated? All zeros, all ones cannot be used. Yes. So one subnet with the address 01 and another subnet with 10. Yes. So suppose you need only 2 subnets, you can allocate 2 bits from host ID as net ID or subnet ID, and you can name it as one subnet as 01 and another subnet as 10. Yes, the first 2 octets will remain the same. You cannot change. The net ID of the first 2 octets will be same. In the third octet, among the 8 bits available, you are sacrificing 2 bits to name the subnet ID, which will be named as 01 and 10. So if you want to have more than 2 subnets, even 3 subnets, then you need to acquire 3 bits. Yes, meaning which if you acquire 3 bits, say here 4 different networks are formed. Among that 3 bits, leaving all zeros and all ones, you can assign one address to each of this subnet. Yes, what is the maximum number of hosts that can be present in a subnet? Yes, in case I am taking a class B address. Yes, so in class B address, 16 bits has been assigned for net ID, and among the remaining 16 bits, 3 bits I have assigned for subnet ID. Yes, so how many bits are remaining? It is remaining 13 bits. Yes, so among the remaining 13 bits, I can represent the host ID. Yes, so here to start with, it will look like as if we have sacrificed the number of hosts for representing subnet ID. We'll see how it is not true. Yes, so without subnetting, 2 octet for net ID and 2 octet for host ID. With subnetting, 2 octets for net ID. Say one full octet has been assigned for subnet ID and one full octet for host ID. That means with the 8 bits, what is the maximum number of subnets you can have? It is 2 power 8 minus 2. Yes, that many networks you can create for yourself in your organization itself. Without going for a class A network, you can assign that many address for your own organization itself. Yes, so each of the subnet can have 2 power 8 minus 2 hosts. Yes, if you compare, yes, so the total number of hosts present in this case is 2 power 16 minus 2. Yes, if you take the second scenario, how many hosts are present? 2 power 8 networks. That means 2 power 8 into 2 power 8 different hosts can be there. Each of the 2 power 8 network is, each network can have 2 power 8 hosts. So the number of hosts is actually increasing. Yes, though you are compromising on the number of bits which has been allocated to represent net ID, you are only increasing the number of host. I said without subnet, there is a default mask. So for class B, you know the default mask is 255.255.0.0. Yes. With subnetting, how many bits you represent the subnet ID or how many bits you sacrifice for subnet ID, those bits also should be set as 1. Yes. So suppose you allocate few bits for net ID, that should be specified as 1, and that the decimal equivalent of that number will be subnet mask. Yes, you should know what is default subnet mask and the actual subnet mask. How the actual subnet mask is being calculated, those bits you allocate for net ID and subnet ID must be given as 1, and the decimal equivalent of that number is represented as subnet mask. Yes. So how you will find the subnet address, we'll see with an example. Yes. So we have got different methods. I'll just tell you one method. What is the subnet address? If the destination address is 200.45.34.56 and here the subnet mask is, so 240. If it is 240 means, what is the binary equivalent of 240? It is 0010 followed by 4 zeros. It is binary equivalent of 240. Yes. So what is the binary equivalent of, you can see from this starting address is 200. Yes. So you know that this is a class B address. So by default, the default subnet mask is 255.255. Yes. So only thing you need to know how many bits have to be represented as subnet mask. Yes. So what is the decimal equivalent of 34? Yes. So you give it here. Yes. So that bit, that many number of bits will be given as 1. Yes. So you AND these two values. Yes. And this is the final answer. The decimal equivalent of this is the subnet address. Yes. So I repeat, by default subnet mask, it is 255.255.0.0. Here it is given the subnet mask is 255.255.240.0. So the decimal equivalent of 240 is given. Yes. So how to find the subnet address? You perform AND operation of the destination address and subnet mask. Yes, you can neglect these first two octets, though it is given here. You need not do for these two octets because you know that it is a class B address and therefore the subnet mask will be 255.255. So you can take the third octet. Yes, you give the binary equivalent of that value. Yes, and binary equivalent of the subnet mask. You AND these two value and the resultant value, it represents the subnet address, which is 32. Yes, 200.45.32.0. Yes. So that is how you find a subnet address, and this is the procedure we find for finding the subnet address. If the byte in the mask is 255, directly copy the byte. That's what I said in the previous example. If it is default address, you need not calculate for it. If the byte is 0, replace the byte in the address with 0. Yes. So if not, you just perform AND operation. Yes. So what is the subnetwork address? If destination address is 19.30.84.5 and the mask is 255.255.192.0. Yes, I'll just take a break here. I want you to calculate and tell me what is the subnetwork address. Let's see another example of subnet address calculation. What is the subnetwork address if the destination address is 191.30.84.5 and the mask is 255.255.192.0? As you can see, the first octet is 191, meaning which it is a class B address. So therefore, the default subnet mask will be 255.255.0.0. But now as we have done subnetting, it is given that the subnet mask is 255.255.192.0. Therefore, we need to find the address of subnetwork address. Yes. So to find subnetwork address, what you need to do, you know that first two octet is 255.255. Since it is class B network, definitely the subnet address will start with same net ID, which is 191.30. Now you are sacrificing few of the bits in the third octet for formation of subnetwork. Therefore, you need to find what will be the third octet in the subnetwork. Yes. So what you are doing, the third octet, you are going to perform AND operation along with the third octet of the subnet mask. Yes. So it is it's not 19, it is 191. Yes. So the third octet you are taking 84 and 192, you are performing AND operation. This is the binary equivalent and the corresponding decimal value is 64. Therefore, we'll know that the subnet address is 19.30.64.0. Yes. So this is comparison of a default mask and a subnet mask. You can see by regular default mask 16 bits for host ID in class B. Here, if you are going to sacrifice 3 bits for formation of subnetwork address, then maximum number of subnets you can form is 2 power 3, which is equal to 8. As you cannot assign all zeros and all ones, since it has got some special meaning, actual number of subnets that can be formed is only 6. 2 power 3 minus 2. Yes. And how many hosts you can have in each of this subnet? Yes. So 3 bits you have allocated. Yes. So remaining there are 13 bits. So each of the 6 subnets can have 2 power 13 different hosts. Yes. If you want to compare the number of hosts, now you will understand that we are not losing much. Yes. Because if you are not doing subnetting, maximum number of hosts you will have is 2 power 16. But when you do subnetting, even though you sacrifice few bits for representing subnet ID, total number of hosts actually increases because you will have 6 into 2 power 13 hosts. Yes, maximum number of subnets can be 6. And each subnet, say you will have 0, 0, 1 followed by 2 power 13 different combination. Then 0, 1, 0 followed by 2 power 13 different combination. Each one will become a unique IP address. Therefore, each host, it will have a unique IP address. That is the advantage of subnetting. Without acquiring a new address, you can increase the address space. That's why we go for subnetting. As you know, in IPv4 we had only 32 bits, unlike IPv6 with 128 bits. So subnetting is a mechanism of increasing the address space with the limited bits. Yes. So now we'll see how to design a subnet. So actually I am a network administrator of our college. Yes. So I want to design a subnet for all the hosts in our college, not only in our CSE department, but all the computers in our entire colleges. Now principal calls and says me, see, in each of the block we need to, there are 6 blocks in our college, and in each of the block we need to have a subnet. Yes. So I'm acquiring only a class B or class C address. Now what are the steps I should see, as a network administrator, it is my responsibility. What is my responsibility? I should divide the existing class B or class C network into number of subnets based upon the requirement given to me by our college. And at the same time, I should also ensure that the number of systems present in each lab is given a unique IP address. So all these things I should consider. So how as a I will proceed as a network administrator. So first thing I'll do is I'll decide on the number of subnets. Yes, so it depends upon the several factors. How many departments are there? How many labs are required in each lab? How many systems are required? So all these factors I will consider, and then based upon the requirement as decided above, I'll decide how many bits I need to acquire from host ID. If I have only 6 subnets, I need only 6 subnets, then I'll acquire only 3 bits. Anything above 6 subnets, minimum of 4 bits I need to acquire. So based upon the task given to me, I'll decide how many bits in the host ID I will allocate for the subnet ID. Yes, so for finding the subnet mask, you know the procedure. Yes, find the number of 1 in the default mask, find the number of ones that define the subnet, and then add the number of ones. Yes, and find the number of zeros. This is the normal procedure. Yes, just by seeing itself, you will be able to find the subnet mask. Yes, so if 4 bits I'm allocating means say it is a class C address. Yes, so already it is 255.255.255.0. Yes, so among that 8 bit, if I need to have 6 subnets, then it will be 111 followed by 50. So the equivalent of decimal equivalent of that binary value will be my subnet address. Yes, so if it is a class B address, 16 bits for net ID, another 16 bits for host ID. Yes, so in the third octet, if I am taking 4 bits, suppose I am having 10 subnets and I am taking 4 bits, then leaving the 4 bits, there are remaining 4 bits. So 4 ones followed by 4 zeros. Yes, the decimal equivalent of that will be my subnet mask. Yes, that's how I calculate the subnet mask. Now you will find the range of address in each subnet. As I told you, there will be one lab present in each of the block. Yes, every block will have few systems. Yes, every lab will have few systems. I need to give a unique IP address to all systems. How I can assign the remaining bits starting from all zeros to all ones can be assigned as the IP address for each of the subnet. In fact, all zeros, all ones cannot be assigned, so the other numbers can be assigned. Yes, so now I'm giving you a task. A company is granted a class C address. It needs 6 subnets. Yes, design the subnet. Yes, so now can you design a subnet? Yes, so for class C address, what is the default subnet mask? It will be 255.255.255.0, right? That is the default subnet mask of class C. Now the company says that I need 6 subnets. Yes, for assigning 6 subnets, how many bits I need to acquire? Yes, minimum of 3 bits. Yes, so minimum of 3 bits is required for me to assign 6 subnets. Yes, now we have to design a subnet. Yes, so the first thing we have to do is identify the subnet mask. Default subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Now the actual subnet mask is 255.255.255. The decimal equivalent of 111 followed by zeros. Yes, so that will be my actual subnet mask. Yes, so with this totally how many subnets I can form? Though it is 8, leaving all zeros and all ones, it will be 6. Yes, so the number of address in each subnet, so totally there are 8 bits. Yes, so this will be my decimal equivalent. So this is your subnet mask. Yes, the number of subnet is 8. Yes, minus 2, which is actually 6. So each of the subnets will be having these many number of hosts, 2 power 5 different hosts. Yes, what will be the address of the first subnet? Is leaving I'm not leaving all zeros and all ones. So assuming I'm taking all bits, the first host will be having, yes, so this address followed by the last octet will be 3 ones followed by 5 zeros. That should be ideally the address of the first host in the first subnet. And yes, the last host in the, if we are having 3 bits, yes, 111, the first subnet should have 001, and the first host should have the host ID as 4 zeros followed by 1. Yes, so just to avoid confusion, I'm taking all zeros and all ones into consideration, and I'm saying the first host address will be all zeros. Yes, and the in first subnet, the last host address will be all zeros followed by 5 ones. Yes, do you get it? If you can see this diagram, yes, so I will start here. This is my first subnet. Yes, so I know that there are since there are 2 power 5 different hosts, which is equal to 32. Yes, so maximum number of hosts I can have in each subnet is 32. So how do I go with the design? I start with the first subnet. The first address is here. Yes, I know maximum number of hosts that can be present in a subnet is 32. Therefore, I add 31. That will be the last address of my first subnet. Yes. Now for the second subnet, I add 1 to this. Yes. It is 201.70.64.32. That will be the first address of my second subnet. Yes. So maximum number of hosts I can have in a subnet is 31. Therefore, the last address in the second subnet, it will be add 31 to this value. Yes, so this is the last address. So what will be the second address? It will be 201.70.64.33. The third host will be having 34. The fourth one will be having 35, and so on, and last host will be having this IP address. Yes, so what is the task given to me? I am designing a subnet and I am assigning an IP address to each of the hosts which is present in the subnet. Yes, now this is the last subnet. Since there are many subnets, I am going from end. Yes, I know the last address. It is 201.70.64.255. Yes, to know the beginning address of this subnet, I subtract 32 from this. Yes, to get the beginning address. So that will be the 8th subnet first address. Yes, I hope you are able to understand what is the task given to me. They have said that a company has granted me a class C address, and they have said that they need 6 subnets. Now design a subnet. What is the meaning of design a subnet? You should give one name for one subnet name for each of the subnet, and also should give one IP address for each of the hosts in the subnet. So how we go about it? I see the number of subnets. Based upon it, I allocate the part of host ID portion to subnet ID portion. So here I have allocated 3 bits. Now the decimal equivalent of this, I call it as a subnet mask. Yes, the default subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0. Now with allocation of 6 subnets, the subnet mask is 255.255.255.224. Yes, now for each of the host, how will I allocate the address? Starting, there will be total of 2 power 5. That means 32 different hosts. I will allocate from all zeros to all ones different IP address. Yes. So this is the design. If I ask you to design a subnet, this is the illustration which you should give. Yes. So how many subnets? Each of the subnet, I should start with the starting address, and I know the number of hosts. Therefore, I add it and get the last address in each of the subnet. If I have 1000 subnets, of course, I can go to the last IP and then subtract the number of hosts to get the first address. I'm not going to deal in detail with supernetting. I'll just give an overview of supernetting because the concept is very similar to that of subnetting. If you have digested what is subnetting, then supernetting shouldn't be difficult for you. In case of subnetting, what we did was we allocated a part of host ID to represent the net ID. Yes. So in case of supernetting, we do the reverse. Yes. So if we have some address space that is wasted, yes, we don't have sufficient host in a particular network, but still we are in need of yet another network, but we are not able to do it. In that case, what we do is we do the reverse of subnetting. Of course, in case of supernetting, you need permission from the person who has allocated as the net ID, because we are going to allocate a portion of net ID to represent the host ID. Yes. Remember, in subnetting, we allocated a portion of host ID to represent the subnet ID. In case of supernetting, we do the reverse. We allocate a portion of net ID to host ID so that we increase the address space. Yes. Suppose a class C, we have acquired a class C address. I've got a huge number of hosts. Yes. Then I make a request and say that you please alter my net ID so that 3 bits of net ID I'm going to allocate for increasing the number of hosts in each of the network. Yes. So the same procedure, only thing, instead of getting the bits from host ID, I get the bits from the previous octet, and accordingly I form a new mask. Yes. And the rest of allocation of IP address is same as that of the subnetting. Yes. So you can see, although the classes of A and B address have almost been depleted. If you go and ask for A and B, they'll not give you the address because it's not available with them at all. But huge number of class C addresses are available. Yes. So however, the size of class C block with maximum number of 256, it's not satisfied. Yes. I'm not able to accommodate all the hosts. Yes. So since because I have 10 more system, I have to go and acquire one more class C address. So instead I go for supernetting. Yes. So there are some rules of supernetting. Yes. So at random, because you are going to change your IP address itself, these are some default rules. Next one, I told you why we are doing all this, because IP address has got limited space. The total number of bits available is 32. So using this limited space, how do I accommodate more number of hosts? So that is my task. That's why I tried ordinary subnetting, then I tried with supernetting, and now the another thing is you break away all norms. You don't say there is a default net ID and host ID. If class B net ID is this much, host ID is 2 octet. If class C, it is 3 octet. Yes, you break all the rules. Yes, so that is called as CIDR notation, or classless inter-domain routing. Yes, so that is called as classless address. Yes. So here any number of bits you can allocate for net ID portion, and any number of bits you can represent for host ID portion. The only limitation is that you are having a different notation for specifying the IP address. You just specify the IP address as a slash notation. I specify the IP address followed by slash, and then the number of bits I'm using to represent the net ID portion. If I give the IP address slash 26, that means 26 bits are used to represent net ID. IP address slash 11, that means 11 bits are used to represent the net ID. Okay, so this is the latest convention which we are using. We are not anymore using the conventional subnet, but you need to know what is subnetting, you need to know what is supernetting, because still you need to design a subnet. Only thing, the way in which we are representing has been changed as CIDR notation, which is the classless interdomain routing. So we have seen what is IPv4 address, what are the ways in which a class of IP address can be classified. With classless addressing, we break all the class norms and we go with the slash or CIDR notation. We saw what is subnetting, we saw what is supernetting, what is the need for subnetting, what is the need for supernetting. You need to know how to design a subnet. Yes, thank you.